From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth here at my bar at Tommy Mack's, of course, where we talk a lot of business, we talk sports, we talk life, all about the city of Jacksonville and the surrounding areas. Brought to you by our good friends at YOLO Rum and at Dasher. Great to have both of them on board. It's Campo's Corner, so Coach Campo is here, of course. We've got a active duty military member who's doing some great work in the cybersecurity world, and Daniel Gilham is here with Farther. Let's welcome in the panel. Coach, how are you, my man?
I'm
Great
good, Tom. How are you? Good to see you.
You're looking good, man. You're looking good. You got the workout in already?
Got the workout in.
Nice.
Listen, I've got to keep moving.
No doubt. Absolutely.
We were just talking about age downstairs. I want to stay vertical. I don't want to be horizontal.
Keep that blood flowing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No doubt about it. Well, you look good, man. You always look good. Do you know anything about cybersecurity at all? Because you got to keep moving with that stuff, too. You know what I mean? They come at you from all angles.
You know what? I know a little bit about security, but not cybersecurity. So I'm excited to hear what Jennii does for her business.
Jennii Kosmowski is here. Nice to meet you, Jennii, from CMIT Solutions of Southwest Jax. First of all, thank you for your service, active duty.
Thank you for your support.
In the Army. Yeah, we love the military here. I think most people love the military, but we especially do. Tell us about CMIT and what you're doing in that cybersecurity world.
Yeah, so we're an IT MSP company, so specifically servicing small to medium-sized businesses, and I specialize in cybersecurity solutions for these companies. Want to advise business owners in our community, right? We don't really go anywhere outside of our territory. We're really just focused on here at home to provide that support and awareness.
So small businesses, I got to imagine they probably, I don't need that yet, but they do need that,
right?
It doesn't matter how big the startup is, early stage, whatever it is, everybody needs to make sure that data is secure.
It's especially small business, actually, because they're one of the biggest attack vectors for attackers, threat actors.
I'm not a hacker, I just figured that. I figured that was okay, right. So they're more vulnerable at the early stage.
Yep.
Because of what I just like they're not thinking about.
Yeah, because they think, we're so small, those guys out there, like anonymous, right? We hear those names. They're thinking about the big money. They're not. They focus on the little doors in, the little back doors into these big organizations, which is through small business.
Yeah. It's amazing how in-depth I hear these horror stories, right? The hackers grab money, and before you even know it, it's dispersed like in thousands of places, hundreds of places around the world. You can never track it. Like you can never find it. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's why it's so important to have that security in place. Last year, there was an attack that was so big, the attackers actually gave back some of the data that they stole because they said they were overwhelmed with their number of victims. No way. Oh my gosh. Yeah. A good Samaritan hacker. Holy cow. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it,
Mercy.
Right? All right, so are you, what you do in the Army, or what you have done the past 8 years and continue to do, does that have to do with cybersecurity? I mean, is that how it kind of overlapped into entrepreneurship? It is. So I'm actually part of the Signal Battalion in Jacksonville. We're headquartered here, right here in Jacksonville, over to Normandy Boulevard, and we actually have to get all of our soldiers trained in cybersecurity. They all have to hold the security clearances, and that means they go through regular security training. We have to perform a lot of operational security practices, and that updates very regularly. So even outside of annual training, there's constant training going on. Right before we go on missions, we have to get rebriefed on the latest and greatest on what kind of threats are out there. Yeah, no doubt. Daniel, how are you, my man?
Doing great. Good to see you.
With what you guys are doing at Farther, I mean, that's got to be.
So we were just talking about this, right? Like, we help business owners sell their business.
Right.
We don't do the transaction, but we help them maximize the value of their company so that there's more money for them to live off, and we manage that money once there's that liquidity event. But when you look at a business through the eyes of an acquirer, these are the risks that an acquirer is looking at. So it's financial, it's operational, but it's also on the tech perspective. So how do you get the right people and technology around that business owner so that they can maximize the value? They have more money, we help them manage that money. It's a beautiful relationship.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What would you say to small business owners out there right now? Like, what do you guys do, like an audit for them? Like, or should they get an audit, figure out where they're at with all their security, and then what would you say to somebody out there listening?
The biggest gap is knowledge. So that doesn't cost anything. So even if you have no idea what budget you should be using towards cybersecurity, get educated. Educate your team. That's free. There's tons of stuff on YouTube, Spotify. There's great podcasts out there they can listen to on the drive in and home from work.
Perfect. It's out there.
You know,
sure.
with this new NIL in college football, they better get involved in security because there's a bunch of hackers out there trying to get their players.
Yeah, think about that.
So it's all over the place. Absolutely.
No question about that. All right, it's a game face segment, so I got to ask you all the same question. Favorite athlete that's inspiring you today or has inspired you throughout your life? What do you got?
Rhino.
Ryan Sandberg?
Ryan Sandberg, greatest second baseman I ever played the game of baseball. It's really interesting. As a young kid, my family's from Chicago. So I grew up in Memphis, though, and I would run in from school, and because we would play 120 games. WGN, and I wouldn't look at the score. It wasn't the first line item. I would look at the error section. So did Ryan Sandberg commit an error? Because and I think the consistency of that is just beautiful.
Yeah, he was a great Cub, no doubt about it. Jennii, how about you?
I'm from Michigan and grew up playing tennis, so Todd Martin Foundation, that was a big inspiration. Again, it's the sharing with the community, bringing awareness. It got me into sports. Yes.
Yeah, he's a great guy, man. I love him. We got to get him back on the show. He's been on the show.
Oh, that's
Todd
awesome.
Martin, that's awesome. He's going to love hearing that, no question.
Shout out to Todd Martin.
Way to go, Todd. Way to go, my man. All right, Coach, you probably have a ton of them. But
you've asked me that question before, and I'm going to answer it the same way. Otto Graham. I'm going back, way back.
Yeah, right.
When I was in high school, he was at the Coast Guard Academy, and he spoke to our team, and that was my first association with professional football.
Wow.
And the guy was an inspiration. Not only was he a great football player, but he was a great American, and I think that combination affected me as we went forward.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, you could probably name a bunch. I get, I have to answer it too. I would say, I'm going to give a new one, right? Okay. Sammy Mills and Vaughn Johnson were two all-pro inside linebackers for the New Orleans Saints. They were two of the best inside backers in the game. I was a rookie free agent, so I wasn't even drafted. And I didn't make the team, but they took me under their wing and showed me how to play linebacker in the NFL and how to handle things off the field as well. I'll never forget it. God rest both of them. They both have passed since then, and they were just great players and great people because that's what you want, right? Someone to influence you like that you'll never forget. You know, that's what sports can do, no doubt about it. Jennii, keep up the great work, all right? And thank you again for your service. Daniel, always a pleasure, Coach. You're the man. Make sure you check out their profiles. This conversation and so many others. Listen, everybody's welcome at this bar. When I say everyone, I mean everyone is welcome to sit here and tell your story. So until next time, make sure you stay safe and be cool out there, and we'll see you right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
Cheers.
Even though we do have two different liquors, it's still one name. It's YOLO Rum, and at the end of the day, it's how you feel. And YOLO Rum, you only live once, and that's more prevalent. That's becoming more prevalent as far as the attitude and the mindset with how people live their lives. And it's not about how it used to be as far as people doing dumb stuff out here. It's more of their understanding the value of their life. And if we can bring that presence of the meaning behind life and what it means to fulfill whatever you need to fulfill in your life that makes you feel enjoyable about what you're doing, that's what YOLO will bring out as well.